Hello, graceful Libra. There are moments when balance isn't something you create through effort, but something you begin to recognize within yourself. This message arrives as an invitation to look back on your experiences with compassion instead of criticism, allowing what has already taught its lesson to rest while you become more present with who you are now. Every emotion has a place here, whether it brings comfort, uncertainty, joy, or quiet sadness, because each feeling reveals something worth understanding rather than avoiding. Even the chapters that once felt difficult may be carrying wisdom you couldn't fully see until now. Healing doesn't ask you to erase the past. It gently encourages you to meet it with patience so that old patterns no longer define your choices. As you become more honest with yourself, you may notice relationships that naturally reflect your values, creating space for meaningful collaboration built on mutual respect instead of obligation. Allow yourself to trust the quiet exchange between giving and receiving, without feeling that you must constantly earn your place. When you show up as your genuine self, your presence often encourages others to do the same, creating connections that feel balanced rather than forced. Small moments of kindness, sincere conversations, and thoughtful gestures become part of a wider rhythm that reminds you how deeply people can influence one another. Give yourself permission to slow down whenever your mind becomes crowded with expectations. Whether you find clarity through a peaceful walk, mindful breathing, or simply sitting with your thoughts for a while, these pauses help you reconnect with the calm center that has always been within you. Growth rarely demands that you rush ahead. More often, it unfolds through quiet choices that gradually reshape the way you see yourself. You may also find yourself noticing thoughts or emotions that have remained beneath the surface for longer than you realized. Rather than pushing them away, let curiosity guide you toward understanding them with honesty. Awareness has a remarkable way of transforming inner conflict into wisdom, allowing experiences that once felt heavy to become part of the foundation supporting your future decisions. Every challenge adds another thread to the larger story of your life, giving it depth, resilience, and meaning. Stay open to subtle moments of insight, meaningful conversations, or simple experiences in nature that seem to reflect something you've been feeling inside. Your own patterns may become easier to recognize, and trusting that inner understanding can help you move with greater confidence instead of searching endlessly for outside confirmation. Remember that your greatest strength may not come from pleasing everyone around you, but from honoring what feels true within your own heart. As you choose honesty alongside compassion, your actions naturally inspire those around you to embrace their own growth as well. One sincere conversation, one thoughtful choice, or one quiet act of generosity can create a ripple that reaches much farther than you realize. Continue meeting your path with openness, allowing each experience to deepen your understanding of yourself rather than rushing toward certainty. Balance is not a destination waiting somewhere ahead. It is something you practice through each mindful decision you make. If these reflections resonate with you, let them serve as gentle guidance, and if they do not, simply release them with ease, remembering that every person's journey unfolds in its own unique way. In the reflections that follow, we'll explore how these themes may express themselves through your relationships, your work, your well-being, your finances, and the connections that shape your daily life. Before we move into those areas, I'd like to share a symbolic color and a meaningful number that beautifully echo the spirit of this reading. If these reflections have offered you a sense of clarity or quiet encouragement, I'd truly appreciate your support with a like. Knowing these messages resonate inspires me to continue creating thoughtful readings with care, hoping they become a peaceful place you can return to whenever you need perspective. Rather than focusing on luck, I'd like to share a few symbols that beautifully echo the spirit of this reading. The number 2 reflects partnership, balance, and the gentle art of meeting another person without losing yourself. It isn't a promise of future events, but a reminder that meaningful growth often begins when two perspectives find common ground instead of competing for certainty. A symbolic color that complements this message is soft blue. Its quiet presence reflects openness, emotional clarity, and the calm that emerges when your thoughts and your heart begin moving in the same direction. Whether it appears in your clothing or simply captures your attention, Let it serve as a gentle reminder to return to your own inner balance whenever life feels unsettled. One word seems to weave naturally through everything explored in this reading: harmony. Harmony isn't created by avoiding disagreement or making yourself smaller for the comfort of others. Instead, it grows through honest conversations, mutual respect, and the willingness to listen with the same care you hope to receive. Sometimes reaching understanding means releasing the need to have every outcome unfold exactly as you imagined. You may discover that meaningful progress comes more easily through cooperation than through carrying every responsibility alone. Healthy relationships invite each person to contribute different strengths, creating something neither could accomplish independently. Libra often shines not by standing above others, but by helping people find common ground while remaining true to personal values. There may also be moments when someone close to you needs compassion, encouragement, or simply your quiet presence. Whether it's a friend, a relative, or someone whose burdens have become difficult to carry alone, offering sincere support can gently reshape your own perspective as well. Experiences like these often remind us what deserves our energy and what can finally be released. That doesn't mean this reflection predicts hardship for those around you. Instead, it points toward opportunities for greater empathy and emotional maturity that can emerge through ordinary moments of connection. Sometimes, the greatest lesson is not changing another person's path, but allowing their experience to deepen your own understanding of what truly matters. You may also find yourself letting go of the pressure to understand everything immediately. Questions that once felt unresolved can begin settling naturally as your perspective softens. If you've been uncertain about someone's intentions, you might gradually recognize that what seemed unclear was asking for patience rather than quick conclusions, allowing trust to grow where doubt once lingered. A fresh chapter may also begin quietly within your relationships and your sense of self. You could notice an unexpected connection, a meaningful conversation, or a growing awareness of the qualities that make you feel most authentic. Rather than searching for dramatic signs, allow yourself to notice the subtle shifts that reveal where genuine connection is already taking root. The Ace of Cups reflects an open heart willing to experience emotion without fear. For Libra, this card speaks of allowing vulnerability to strengthen your relationships instead of seeing it as something that threatens your sense of balance. Feelings that have remained unspoken may finally find gentle expression, creating space for understanding that neither person could reach through silence alone. The Fool invites you to trust your own judgment instead of waiting until every possibility has been carefully approved by everyone around you. New creative ideas, meaningful collaborations, or changes that once felt uncertain may deserve another look. Sometimes the first step isn't about abandoning caution. It's about believing that your inner wisdom is capable of guiding you with grace. When you choose to move forward, let your next step come from quiet confidence, rather than the need to have every answer in advance. Growth doesn't always announce itself through dramatic moments. Sometimes it begins with one honest decision that gently loosens the grip of old fears. As your trust in yourself deepens, possibilities that once seemed distant may begin to feel surprisingly within reach. The Tower reminds you that not every structure deserves to remain exactly as it has always been. For Libra, this card often reveals that keeping the peace at any cost can eventually become its own form of imbalance. What once disrupted your sense of stability may now reveal itself as the beginning of stronger foundations built on authenticity instead of expectation. The Death card speaks not of loss to fear, but of the quiet courage to release versions of yourself that no longer reflect who you're becoming. Old relationship patterns, outdated beliefs, or responsibilities you've carried beyond their purpose can gradually make room for healthier ways of living and connecting. As you let go with intention, you naturally create space for experiences that feel more aligned with your values. The Star brings a gentle reminder that hope often returns through inner peace before it appears in the world around you. Its light reflects your ability to create harmony wherever honesty and compassion meet, inspiring others simply through the way you live your truth. Pay attention to subtle moments of clarity, meaningful coincidences, or quiet intuitive nudges that encourage you to trust yourself a little more each time they appear. One recurring theme throughout this reading is the importance of caring for others without forgetting your own well-being. You may find yourself supporting someone who needs encouragement, comfort, or simply the reassurance that they don't have to face everything alone. Offering kindness is meaningful, but lasting compassion also requires protecting your own energy so that generosity remains sustainable rather than exhausting. Give your body the same patience you offer the people you love. Nourishing meals, regular movement, restorative rest, and moments of stillness aren't separate from your personal growth. They make it possible. The steadier you feel within yourself, the more naturally you'll be able to show up for the people and responsibilities that matter most. In your professional life, collaboration may become one of your greatest strengths. Even if everything isn't perfectly smooth, there is room to strengthen trust, communicate with greater clarity, and recognize that shared effort often leads to better results than carrying every challenge alone. Small conversations, thoughtful cooperation, and mutual respect can quietly reshape the atmosphere around you. Your ability to communicate with diplomacy and genuine listening may also open unexpected doors. Whether you're developing a project, exploring a new opportunity, or introducing yourself in a professional setting, authenticity often leaves a stronger impression than trying to appear flawless. If you're searching for a new position, allow your values and personality to speak clearly, because the right opportunity is more likely to recognize sincerity than perfection. Financially, this reading encourages a balanced approach rather than dramatic risk-taking. New possibilities may emerge through collaborative ideas, practical improvements, or creative solutions that align with your long-term priorities. Instead of chasing quick results, trust the steady progress created through thoughtful choices and consistent effort. If previous financial experiences have left you cautious, remember that wisdom often grows from exactly those moments. Let your intuition guide your decisions while remaining grounded in careful planning and realistic expectations. Lasting prosperity is rarely built through urgency. More often, it develops one mindful choice at a time, as confidence gradually replaces fear and your actions begin reflecting the balance you've been cultivating within yourself. When it comes to the practical side of home life, remember that stability is rarely created by one person alone. Whether you live with a partner, family members, or roommates, simple acts of cooperation can make everyday responsibilities feel lighter and more sustainable. Sharing resources thoughtfully, planning together, and respecting one another's boundaries often creates a stronger sense of security than any single financial decision could provide. Sometimes it's the smallest habits, a shared routine, an honest budget conversation, or a willingness to divide responsibilities fairly that gradually transform a house into a place where everyone feels supported rather than overwhelmed. Lasting stability is often built through consistency, not grand gestures. This may also be an opportunity to notice habits that have quietly shaped your household without much attention. Small adjustments, realistic expectations, and honest conversations about responsibilities can gradually create a healthier balance for everyone involved. Rather than assuming everyone sees things the same way, inviting open discussion allows misunderstandings to soften before they become unnecessary tension. Harmony at home isn't built through perfection, but through people who are willing to understand both their own limits and those of the people around them. That mutual understanding creates an atmosphere where trust grows naturally instead of being demanded. Love may reveal itself through unexpected sources of encouragement. A partner, a sibling, a trusted relative, or someone whose advice you genuinely value could become an important source of perspective as you move through this chapter. Sometimes the people closest to us don't solve our problems for us. They simply remind us that we don't have to carry everything alone. Their quiet confidence in you may help you recognize strengths you've forgotten, encouraging you to move forward with greater clarity and a renewed sense of emotional security. One of Libra's greatest lessons is learning that emotional fulfillment and personal ambition don't have to compete with one another. As you become more intentional about protecting both your relationships and your personal goals, you may discover that each strengthens the other instead of demanding sacrifice. There is no need to choose between building a meaningful life and nurturing meaningful connections when both are rooted in honesty and mutual respect. Balance becomes easier when your choices reflect your priorities rather than your fears, allowing your personal growth to enrich your relationships instead of pulling you away from them. Within committed relationships, deeper conversations may naturally become more meaningful than dramatic displays of emotion. Sharing ideas, making plans together, exploring creative dreams, or talking honestly about the future can strengthen intimacy in lasting ways. Emotional closeness often grows through feeling understood, and understanding begins with conversations that invite both people to be fully themselves. When each person feels heard without immediately being judged or corrected, trust deepens in ways that often become the quiet foundation of a lasting partnership. Communication remains one of the strongest themes throughout this reading. When you express your needs with kindness instead of expecting others to guess them, relationships gain a sense of safety and trust. Even a simple statement such as needing a little quiet or personal space can prevent unnecessary misunderstandings and allow both people to feel respected rather than uncertain. Honest communication doesn't diminish affection. It protects it by replacing assumptions with understanding and creating room for both people to honor each other's emotional rhythms. If you're single, there is no need to force experiences that don't genuinely reflect where your heart is. Solitude can become a meaningful space for rediscovering your own interests, restoring your energy, and becoming more connected with yourself. These quieter moments often reveal what truly matters to you beyond outside expectations or social pressure. Relationships that truly belong in your life rarely require you to abandon your own rhythm in order to make them happen. Instead, they tend to complement the life you're already learning to appreciate. If you're getting to know someone, clarity will matter far more than constant communication. There may be moments when you need time for yourself, and expressing that honestly creates far more trust than disappearing into silence. A thoughtful explanation, even if brief, reassures the other person that your quietness is about your own needs rather than a reflection of their worth. Genuine connection grows when both people understand each other's needs without interpreting every quiet moment as rejection. Mutual respect is strengthened when honesty becomes a regular habit rather than something saved only for difficult conversations. You may also notice periods when expressing yourself feels less effortless than usual, and that's perfectly natural. Not every season asks you to be endlessly expressive or socially vibrant. Sometimes listening carefully, choosing your words with intention, and allowing conversations to unfold at their own pace creates deeper understanding than trying to fill every silence. There is wisdom in recognizing that meaningful communication isn't measured by how much is said, but by how sincerely people feel seen, heard, and respected once the conversation is over. Family relationships may also offer opportunities for quiet healing. Honest conversations can gently soften old misunderstandings, while long-standing patterns become easier to recognize without placing blame on anyone involved. Rather than revisiting the past to reopen old wounds, these moments encourage everyone to understand one another with greater compassion and maturity. Your calm presence has the ability to encourage openness, especially when you approach others with curiosity instead of judgment. Even small gestures of appreciation can begin restoring warmth where emotional distance once seemed unavoidable. Someone close to you may choose to share feelings they've kept hidden for quite some time, trusting that you'll receive them with compassion. Allow these moments to strengthen connection without feeling responsible for fixing every situation. Simply offering your attention, your patience, and your willingness to listen may become exactly what someone else has been quietly hoping for. The most meaningful support often comes from being fully present, listening with care, and honoring each person's unique path, while continuing to nurture a home filled with warmth, appreciation, mutual respect, and the quiet reassurance that no one has to carry life's challenges entirely on their own. Your energy feels strongest when your inner world and outer actions begin moving in the same direction. There is a quiet optimism surrounding you, not because everything is certain, but because you're becoming more intentional about where your attention belongs. Instead of chasing every possibility, you're beginning to recognize which paths genuinely deserve your time and which ones simply create unnecessary noise. When your choices reflect your values, Even ordinary efforts begin carrying a greater sense of purpose, and that quiet consistency becomes more powerful than brief moments of inspiration. You may even notice that decisions feel less exhausting when they come from inner alignment, rather than external expectations. One of the greatest strengths available to you is thoughtful planning. Whether you're developing a creative idea, refining a professional project, or exploring a new direction, steady preparation often creates more lasting results than rushing toward immediate outcomes. Libra naturally appreciates balance, and that same quality can become one of your greatest professional assets when you combine vision with patience. Give your energy to what truly deserves it, and avoid scattering your focus across responsibilities that don't genuinely support your long-term priorities. Every carefully considered step builds confidence, making future decisions feel less like risks and more like natural progressions built on a solid foundation. Just as importantly, remember that caring for others should never require abandoning yourself. Libra often gives generously, but balance asks you to protect your own well-being with the same compassion you naturally offer everyone else. It's easy to become so focused on maintaining harmony that you overlook the quiet signals your own body and emotions are sending. When your body, mind, and emotions receive the care they need, your support for others becomes healthier, more sustainable, and far more meaningful. Looking after yourself isn't an interruption to your purpose. It strengthens your ability to be fully present for the people who matter most. If you're a student or currently learning a new skill, collaboration may become one of your greatest advantages. Studying alongside others, exchanging ideas, or working toward shared goals often deepens understanding in ways that solitary effort cannot always provide. A conversation that begins with a simple question may introduce a perspective you hadn't considered, helping concepts settle more naturally in your mind. Different perspectives expand your own thinking, reminding you that wisdom frequently grows through dialogue rather than isolation. The willingness to both teach and learn creates an environment where everyone benefits, including you. As for compatibility, this reading suggests that certain personalities may naturally complement the lessons you're exploring. Pisces may encourage emotional openness and gentle compassion, reminding you that vulnerability can become a quiet source of strength. Fellow Libra individuals can reflect your desire for fairness, mutual understanding, and graceful communication, offering relationships built on shared values and thoughtful dialogue. Sagittarius may inspire broader perspectives and the confidence to embrace possibilities you hadn't fully considered, encouraging you to trust your curiosity without abandoning your sense of balance. These are symbolic reflections rather than fixed outcomes, serving as invitations to notice where connection feels genuine, supportive, and rooted in mutual respect rather than expectation. As we come to the close of this reflection, thank you for sharing this moment with me. Your willingness to pause, reflect, and explore your inner world gives purpose to every message shared here. Simply taking a few moments to reconnect with yourself is an act of care that often goes unnoticed, yet it has the power to influence every decision that follows. My hope is not to tell you exactly what will happen, but to offer ideas that help you understand yourself with greater clarity and make choices that feel more aligned with the life you're creating. The most meaningful guidance is never about replacing your own wisdom. It is about helping you hear it more clearly. Take what resonates with your own experience and let the rest drift away without concern. Your intuition remains your most trustworthy guide, and no reading can know your journey better than you do. Every person's path unfolds differently, shaped by unique experiences, relationships, and choices, which is why your own discernment will always matter more than any single interpretation. Balance isn't found by following someone else's path. It grows each time you choose honesty, compassion, and self-awareness in your own. Those small moments of conscious choice often become the quiet turning points that shape a much larger journey. If this reflection brought you a little more clarity or peace, I'd truly appreciate your support with a like, as it helps these messages reach others who may be looking for the same encouragement. Every gesture of support allows this space to continue growing into a welcoming community where thoughtful conversations and meaningful reflections can flourish. If you'd like to continue exploring future reflections together, you're warmly invited to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss new readings as they're shared. Your presence here is already a valuable part of that journey. To everyone who returns here, whether quietly listening or sharing this journey with others, thank you. Your presence helps create a thoughtful community built on curiosity, kindness, and personal growth. Every shared reflection, encouraging comment, or simple moment of connection contributes to an atmosphere where people feel supported as they continue discovering more about themselves. Until next time, may you carry forward a calm heart, a balanced mind, and the quiet confidence to trust yourself one honest choice at a time, allowing that inner harmony to gently shape every step that follows.